Getting you through the hump of the week with some of the greatest pop music of our time. It's day 183
of
Beatles-a-Day.
Keeping the Doctor Away. Why? Because
music will save the day.
Yes. So,
folks, great news, glad tidings, joyous news. We have had a winner of the Great T-shirt race of 2020.
Ding, 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 ding. It is Tony Colosimo.
We have a second place.
MJ.
Yes, MJ also got their hoodie as well. She got her hoodie. And they're both on orange. One's an orange t-shirt, one's an orange hoodie. And if you've ordered orange bits of tid hoodie, it's gonna look great. I'm just saying, we've seen pictures in real life.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. I can't wait for my maroon hoodie. I'm just telling you now that you're going to be seeing a lot of it this winter.
You're going to be living in it.
Oh, it's going to have food stains.
Spaghetti.
It's going to be covered in cat hair. Yep. Good job that this is not a high definition camera that we use on the phone here, because that would be quite embarrassing. Yeah.
Nice bean hair.
Yeah, but I'm really impressed with Bonfire because, what great, super quick fulfillment.
Yeah.
Very,
very
I
good.
mean, we do still have to wait and see how long they ship to Canada and to the UK and to Europe, and Australia.
And New
so
Zealand.
Keep us updated of, your deliveries and stuff.
Here's good news. USPS for our American friends. It works.
Yeah.
They're doing a really cracker job down there.
Under the challenges and
under the challenges, indeed. So get your mail-in ballots in now. Don't wait until the last minute because it does function. If you don't trust mail-in, you can always go to a government building that will collect ballots, and you can see there's a whole list of them actually that does. So vote early, vote now, vote. Don't wait till the last minute. Make sure that it's nice and safe and secure and your vote gets registered.
This public service announcement brought to you by a Canadian. There we go.
It's the least we can do for our neighbors. Bits of tid. Hey!
Tonight we are going over to one of the most important albums of the 20th century and one of the greatest songs of the 20th century.
Indeed.
From the pen of Mr. George Harrison. This song really kind of put him on a completely different plane as a songwriter, and finally kind of broke those old misconceptions that he wasn't as talented a songwriter as Lennon and McCartney, which we all know is not true. This song partly inspired, very blatantly inspired actually, by a James Taylor song called Something in the Way She Moves. And he was trying to not use that line when writing this song, but he couldn't get it out of his head and he felt compelled to build on that. And this song actually almost ended up on the White Album. Strangely, well, it kind of did and kind of didn't. It was written during the sessions for recording the White Album, but it was not really anywhere near finished, and so it ended up on Abbey Road instead.
Well, yeah.
We are going to have a little bit of tid.
Would have fit very well in the White Album too, though.
We're going to have a little bit of tid extra, but it's one of those where we need to kind of play it and then talk about it a little bit. So
let's do that.
Shall we do that?
Let's do it.
Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she woos me. I don't want to leave her now. I believe in how. Somewhere in her smile she knows
Thank you, George Harrison.
So simple and so profound and so beautiful and so George. Just a great song. I have a couple of bits of tid extra here. Okay, so bear with. Okay,
Bring
you
on
ready?
the bits of tid extra.
Some of it's personal tid. So that the misconception is that song was inspired and written about Pattie Boyd, who was George's wife at the time, but actually it wasn't. George said many times in interviews that it was actually written with the mindset that he could hear somebody like Ray Charles singing it.
It was written for Rocco.
Hi, Rocco boy. And so
in the studio.
He wrote it with a specific artist in mind, and he could kind of hear that. And Ray Charles did go on to cover it amongst many other people: Joe Cocker, Frank Sinatra, James Brown. Just a whole host of great talent covered this song and thought that it was one of the greatest love songs ever written. Hi, buddy. It's almost salmon time. I promise. We have freeze-dried salmon treats every night at bedtime, and he's hurting us because it's late.
He is.
Yeah, we're about an hour and a half late for salmon time. And so just that song. He was only 25 when he wrote that song.
Why is it that when the Beatles were 25, they looked like they were 35? I mean, that's what being a Beatle did to them.
Well,
It aged them.
I think when you see somebody, when somebody is older than you all that time, you never...
They always look older than you.
They always seem older
I
than
still
you.
look at pictures of, like, George Harrison, with the hair and the beard and stuff, and, like, he still seems like he's older than I am.
Right.
Right?
So what a great way to finally kind of blossom as a songwriter. And we know, buddy, we're coming.
But what a testament, when he wrote it with Ray Charles in mind, the idea being that when you hear some other artist's voice in your head and you're writing for that person, you start making musical choices that are a little bit outside of your normal repertoire when you're writing for yourself. I've run into this myself, and it's a real testament when that artist actually ends up covering it. I've got some of my own stories around that, and it's like, wow, it really did fit. It really did work. But that's a really good tactic if you are a songwriter and you feel like you're stuck with your own voice in your head. Use somebody else's voice and see what it brings out in your writing. And it brought out just a magical treat on this particular song.
Can I share a little bit of personal tid on the song?
Please.
This was one of the first songs when I was a young barbershopper back in the late 90s. It was the first song that I learned in kind of like a barbershop style.
Oh, really?
And I apologize because I can't remember whose arrangement that was that kind of everybody used to sing at that time. So if anybody in Britain kind of knows whose arrangement we were singing back then, and so it's got cool memories for me, that song. Because it's attached to very early barbershop memories. But more specifically than that, because the verses are very similar and sometimes it's easy to kind of get the verses mixed up and the words mixed up. I don't know, Kat Soto, if you're still watching, I know you were in the beginning, but I know life kind of moves on. So if you're still watching, it was your mum. Her mum was and still is Rosie Lockett, and Rosie Lockett was the assistant director of my chorus at the time, and she used to direct this. And because she knew that everybody would get the words mixed up, she would give us kind of signals to tell us which verse we were on.
Right. Okay.
So she would do things like Somewhere in Her Smile and something in the way she knows, and something in the things she shows me, and she would kind of like pretend to open her dark jacket. Yeah. So shout out to Rosie Lockett. I still remember that, and Kat, who was we shared a little bit of crossover time in the chorus. So that was a little bit of a silly personal tid there, but I always remember that when I hear the song.
Isn't that great?
Really
well, that's what music does, right?
Right.
It keeps you attached to this. What is it? The soundtrack of your life.
Right. So folks, today has been a long day. It's been a long week already, and it's only Wednesday, but we are so happy to keep seeing your comments coming in and your your excitement around the deliveries of your t-shirts is just absolutely heartwarming, and the photos that we know we're going to get when everybody starts getting their packages, keep those coming. We want to see them, and we're very excited for the next wave of Beatles-a-Day apparel.
I'm excited for my hoodie to come and my t-shirt to come. So yeah, I ordered one of each.
Yeah.
I ordered that on an orange hoodie.
Nice, I'm gonna
and
steal
I ordered
it.
bits of tid on the
We can swap.
blue.
We can interchange.
If I can ever pry that maroon hoodie away from you.
Yeah.
Friends, we
go.
love you, and that is the way it is.
We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, and it's going to be day 184.
Another treat tomorrow.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. I'm coming in. I'm not using the remote tonight. I don't want to ruin the mood.